There is a leg.
How's it going?
So we're waiting for you to go, and I'm like, why is it going? I almost got that.
Oh, it's me in the background.
I'm very good. How are you?
It's me. Oh, I'm so glad you didn't hang up. Thanks for not hanging up. Hello, how are you?
Yeah.
I'm great. How's your Project for Awesome been so far?
Oh, okay.
It's been really good.
Yeah.
I do this every year. We do this every year. Me and my son Colin, he's 9.
Oh, really? Is he there?
He is. He is here. He wants to talk to you.
Oh, hey, Colin. How's it going?
Hold on. Hello?
Hi, Colin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. You know, you're just 1 year older than my son, Henry.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Are you in school?
Huh?
Do you go to school?
Yeah, I go to the West Hampton Beach.
Oh, that sounds cool. What grade are you in?
4th.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. How do you like it so far?
It's good. We do a lot of fun things.
Oh, that's great. What kind of stuff are you into? Do you like what kind of what are your hobbies? What stuff do you like?
I like YouTube. I like to watch you a lot.
Oh, thanks. Really?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, thank you. What channel do you watch? Vlogbrothers or do you watch SciShow? What channels do you watch?
Vlogbrothers.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't get my kids to watch Vlogbrothers.
Really?
Yeah, they're not interested. They just want to watch Minecraft videos.
So, my mom loves to read your books, and she says your books are amazing. So, I'm thinking you have, like, really good writing skills, so I was wondering, since I want to be a writer someday, do you have any, like, inspiration or things to say if want to become a writer?
Sure, and thank you for the question. I think the most important thing I think for being a writer is to continue to believe that you can do it. So that you might, as you get older, you might start to feel like, oh, there aren't that many writers. Maybe that's not a realistic career goal. Maybe that's not a real job. But I'm here to tell you that it is a real job, and there's lots of people who write books. Some of them don't do it for their full-time jobs, but there are lots of different ways to write books and share them with an audience. So I hope you'll hold on to that dream for yourself. Is the most important thing. And then the other thing that I would say is that I think the most important thing that we can do as writers, practicing our writing, thinking about how to write stories down in a way that other people will respond to them, using that gift of your imagination where I'm sure you're always thinking about stories and things that might happen and maybe even different worlds and what those worlds are like, using the gifts of that imagination and then trying to write them down in ways that other people will respond to. And then the second thing that I think is so important is reading, because reading is how we can learn from other people how stories work. Like, how is it that our favorite writers are able to use words that create ideas and stories that live inside of our minds? And I think the more you read and the more different kinds of books that you read, the more you have that opportunity to learn from what you're reading about how writing works. Do you have any favorite books or favorite writers?
I don't have a favorite writer because I like a lot of books.
Yeah.
But right now I'm reading The Donut Fix, which is really good so far.
It's called The Donut Fix?
Yeah.
I'll look it up. I haven't read it, so I'll check it out.
Yeah. My mom would like to talk to you again.
Okay, well, it's great to talk to you. Thank you for being part of this year's Project for Awesome.
He really is.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Take care. What a great kid.
Hello?
Your kid is amazing.
I know he is. He really is.
this book for donut votes. All right, it looks great. I'm excited to read it.
Well, I'm a YA librarian, so we're both kind of book addicts.
Oh, awesome.
I have the whole thing of just your books because we went to your church store and then we went to Hagen store and you had signed all your books, so I double bought them.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But when it keeps come in, I just recommend your books to everyone, especially if they say realistic fiction. I go, did you read John Green?
Well, I really appreciate that. I mean, I think YA librarians are the main reason why we have such a broad and diverse collection of young adult literature. I think that the support that librarians have provided for writers, I mean, not just me, but so many writers, I think, would say this. Like, when I was, with my first couple books, they were bought and read almost exclusively in libraries, Like, Looking for Alaska sold, I think, like 4,000 or 5,000 copies in the first, 10 months after it came out, and most of those copies were sold to libraries, and really it was because librarians read the book and shared the book, and independent booksellers that it ended up, having a bigger and bigger audience year after year. So we are really grateful.
When I was in library school in about, I guess, 2008, that's where I first discovered you.
Oh, wow.
Looking for Alaska.
Oh, yeah. Cool. I mean, yeah, I think, it's such important work. Obviously, it's important because you're helping, connect teens to books, and that's life-changing for a lot of kids, but also it's so helpful, it's so important for writers because, librarians are just such good readers, and they have a way of finding really good books and lifting them up, so I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that our first BookCon was when you went to promote the Fiction Town
Oh, yeah.
movie, and that's kind of like our thing. Every year now we go to BookCon, and it's like our family bookish experience.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, I had a great time there. It was weird. I was I felt like I wasn't inside of my body for 3 months. And that was part of that 3 months when the Paper Towns movie was coming out. But everybody was very nice.
It's fun. It's a trip. It's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's crowded, but lots of great books and lots of authors. So yeah, I'm so glad that you get to go. And thank you so much for introducing me to your son. He's so lovely. So thanks. It's great to talk to you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you do, especially, projects for us.
Don't forget to be
I always put
awesome.
it more on the I like the surprise.
Oh yeah. Well, I hope you get a good one this year.
Thank you. Colin just wants to say bye.
All right.
I think.
All right.
Hold on. Don't forget to be awesome. I didn't repeat the bye.
Don't forget to be awesome, Colin. Bye. Oh man.
I think you just said bye. You didn't realize you hung up because you're the last.
Somebody just donated $99.99 in
Did I record it properly?
in the super chat and said,
Should I turn it
"John,
off?"
your trip to Georgia